They say if you want to have things other people don't have, then you need to be willing to do things that other people won't do. Whoever said that didn't have the temptation of this in their backyard every afternoon. So how can you have it all when you have this temptation in your backyard every day? It's been a full week of me nomading out here in Tamarindo, Costa Rica, and I'll just say there's been no shortage of new experiences, new sights, gorgeous sunsets every night. It's certainly a buffet of experiential newness, which I am just absolutely enjoying immensely. But while seeing new things and experiencing new things was very high on my list of what I wanted to do when I started nomading, I also want to continue to make progress on all the exciting things that I have going. Work on my app and business with Niche Creator with my friend Jake from Creative Hackers, my music journey, which is constantly off and on, and client work, and just basically keeping up with AI in this insanely fast moving time, especially within tech and creativity. So what does a self-professed and proud workaholic do when they face the conundrum of paradise versus progress? There has to be a way to find that balance. Well, I might even argue that finding that balance is the best way to progress. I do have to admit, it has been a bit of a challenge trying to keep a schedule and keep the progress that I want in this first week when I'm experiencing so many new things. And that's okay. I wanted to make sure I had enough time to unwind and enjoy myself on the beginning part of this transition. But I do intend to continue to make progress and continue to set goals and hit those milestones on a pace that will ensure success. In a time with a ton of opportunity and potential, but also a ton of competition, I want to make sure that I stay up to my standards and make progress to succeed. Is it even possible to achieve the high echelon of entrepreneurial success while living a life of memorable experiences? I think this is the conundrum of a lot of nomads. When you're out and experiencing so much new, how can you possibly be heads down and focused on achieving goals? As a self-professed and proud workaholic, I often fall into the trap of thinking hours spent at task is the best way to achieve success. The long days, the late nights, surely you have to sacrifice and feel pain to make it in this competitive world. After all, as we said, if you want things that other people don't have, you have to be willing to do what other people won't do. But what if that workaholic mindset isn't in fact the best way to achieve your dreams? What if the way to do it is through balance and new experiences? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that it takes a lot to achieve big things. Like, I want to make progress on my app and community Niche Creator. I want to continue to try to create music and express myself that way. I want to continue to work with amazing clients to build cool tech and digital media. And I also want to experience the amazing things outside this window here in Costa Rica that I've never seen or done before. And previously, if I would have thought doing any of that list I just rattled off, I would have just said, cool, I'm going to strap myself into a desk and just work as many hours as I physically can during that week. A good feeling of like, hey, I'm working, like I deserve something from that. But the reality is you don't. I don't. It's about results, and progress does not directly correlate to time spent. It's about working smarter, not harder. Now, the more you want to do, the smarter you have to work. And I want to experience new things and take advantage of my time while I'm here, but also make progress on my list of projects. Now, I know that hard work is essential, but I don't believe it should come at the cost of creativity, health, relationships, and just overall well-being. So I'm setting the intention of transitioning to a new mindset on how to approach all the things I want to achieve while still experiencing all the things I want to experience in this life. So how on earth am I going to do that? Here are 4 key things I'm going to focus on as I start this new routine as a digital nomad. Number 1 is setting clear and achievable goals for the tasks and project. If I want to make progress on an app, then I will say, I want to get this UI feature done. If I want to make progress on a song, I'll say, I'm going to finish the verse today. If I want to make sure that I go out and experience something new, I'm going to schedule a hike. These things are clear and definable and are easy to know whether you've completed them or not. So often in the past when I've worked on creative stuff especially, I'll say, okay, it's Saturday, like I'm going to work on music today. And I would just sit there and fiddle and tweak synth parameters or strum my guitar. And I wouldn't really have an intention set for what I wanted to get done that day. And Parkinson's law says work expands to fill the time allotted for that task. And if you haven't defined what the goal is, then you will end up just spending the whole time on general work. If I know what my specific and realistic goal is for that project in that day, then I have a much better chance of getting it done. And I'm inspired towards working towards that. Like if I get that done, then I'll feel accomplishment. The second one is intentional time boxing. And this one I have failed at many, many times in my life. And this goes hand in hand with setting the clear goals for a project is you make sure to schedule in time for each project that you want to work on, and you be vigilant and relentless about guarding that time. So if you set the morning block for working on an app feature that you want to complete, you say, I want to finish this beautiful button for the app, and I'm going to get it done in this time box, because the next time box in the afternoon is for songwriting or is for going out for a hike. And if I want to achieve both, then I have to really respect that time. For perfectionist procrastinators like myself, this can actually unlock your superpower of, hey, a deadline's coming up. I don't want to fail. I'm waiting till the last minute, but I'm going to achieve this. And it unlocks that extra reserve of your ability because you're on a deadline. And if you can just commit to being accountable to yourself and commit to the highest level aspiration of I'm going to honor these time boxes and these goals, then you have a good chance of living your dream life. The third thing is prioritizing scheduling new experiences and exploration as a priority project. In the Workaholic's Manifesto, it's easy to write off leisure time as worthless, as lazy. It's easy to deprioritize exploration or going out and trying new things. But a great way to guard against burnout is to give yourself new stimulation. A great way to enhance creativity is to give yourself the space for serendipity to happen and creativity to expand. If you're constantly locked down with same routine, same push workaholic pressure, then that only leads to stress, and that leads to less creativity, that leads to more burnout, exhaustion, and quite frankly, at the end of the day, less results. And the fourth thing I'm going to focus on is building all this into a routine. The best way to get good at something is to do the repetitions, to iterate and improve with each time. I know that this is going to be a challenge for me. I know that I tend to take on way too much, and I tend to take a little bit too much time in doing things. But the only way I'm going to get better is to set those intentions and cycle through and try to get better, adjust as I go, but really just commit to keeping at it until I get better. Bringing that all together, the thought of routine often feels like, well, I don't like a schedule because I lose the freedom. I lose the serendipity. I am not able to be carefree and go and do what I want if I have a schedule. But I would argue the opposite. If you are able to schedule your time, you take control of your time. You schedule in the exploration, you schedule in the new things and the interaction. Either you take control of your time or someone else will. At the end of the day, that is what I ultimately want. I want to live a more balanced life. And this is the approach that I'm taking in achieving it. I do want to accomplish my goals of entrepreneurship in tech. I do want to do killer work for client projects. I do want to be a creative and write and release music. I have much passion about that. But I also want to travel. I also want to experience the world and the people in it and all that it has to offer. Because, up to this point, I've leaned a lot into the work and trying to find what I thought that ultimate pinnacle of fulfillment might be. But as I go, I'm realizing that balance is the way. So in this new era, as I transition, that's what I'm trying to achieve. That's what I'm focusing on. And that's what I'm going to do. I think it's okay that some weeks the experiences take priority. I'll get back to being a workaholic next week.